There, everyone. How are you doing today? So, as I shared in my daily millionaire news, which is something I do with you each and every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, part of that discussion was the fact that Georgia's governor has had enough of this lockdown. And he's like, you know what? We're going to start opening the economy Friday, as in the 24th, with more businesses opening Monday. And we're just going to go for it. So, as I promised at the tail end of that video, I was going to read up on it, kind of see what I could see, and kind of share what I took from that. Again, everything these days seems to be have a political edge to it, so I'm going to do my best not to bring that in. But if it seeps in, I apologize. It's not my intention. I again want Georgia to succeed. I want them to prove it is not only feasible, but a good idea. Somebody has to be first. Some state somewhere has to be first. And again, we should all wish Georgia nothing but success, because then all of us can follow and we can start to come out of the other side, which is always what we wanted, but you can't do it until someone goes first. And unless something changes between now and Friday, Georgia's going to be first, and I'm excited for them. So it did look like on Friday they were going to open up gyms, hair salons, bowling alleys, and tattoo parlors. I don't know, honestly, if that would have been my first choice. I guess bowling alleys, I get. You probably can do social distancing at a bowling alley pretty easily. Gyms, assuming you're turning off maybe every other treadmill or elliptical machine, makes sense to me. I got to tell you though, hair salons and tattoo parlors, um, honestly, I've never been to either of them, so maybe I shouldn't speak. But I'm guessing there's some close contact involved in a hair salon and tattoo parlors. Now, I'm also guessing that they are pretty gloved up, right? They are pretty already well protected, at least a tattoo parlor, right? Because there's that whole blood issue. So maybe a tattoo parlor makes sense because you just simply add a face mask or maybe some protective gear for the tattoo artist. Yeah, maybe that makes sense, right? It already has a lot of I don't know, probably a lot of cleaning supplies and all those things. So maybe that makes sense. Hair salons, again, I don't. Again, seems like a lot of close contact, but again, probably a lot of gloves, and if you put on again a protective mask, maybe it makes sense. I don't know. Then Monday again, what would be what the 20? What is it? 24th, 27th? They're going to start opening up movie theaters and restaurants for limited dine-in service. Movie theaters are going to be tough. Movie theaters are going to be tough, right? Pretty hard to stay 6 feet apart. Um, Obviously, everybody will be wearing a mask. I got to imagine the cleaning process for movie theaters is going to change. I don't. I mean, what do you think? 20 minutes between movie times, like the end of one, you get out, they clean it, you start a new one. What are you going to have to do? 45 minutes now? I'm not going into a movie theater unless it's been, all the armrests have been sanitized and the seats. Not only to mention while you're watching the movie, you have people, but for me, it's like who was just there. So movie theaters are going to be tough. Restaurants, limited dining service, I get that. That makes sense. You could control that. You could space out tables. Um, Again, people will be wearing masks, no question. The waiters and busboys and all of that. So that makes sense to me. But um, but again, it's going to be interesting to watch this, and we need to wish Georgia well. I was a little discouraged in a couple of the articles I read that it seemed like the governor didn't communicate with the mayor of Atlanta. Atlanta, I'm going to assume, is the biggest state or biggest city in Georgia. I don't know of another one. Uh, I didn't look, so I don't. I'm fairly certain. But that has the most people. probably the most, it's not rural, right? It's not easy to keep people apart. So opening up downtowns and areas, just having more people mill about, you would think that those two would have wanted to talk. And right now, the mayor, again, as of this morning, is saying, hey, the governor can do what he wants. I'm going to tell the people to stay home. It's, we don't need this cross currents. It'll already be interesting enough to see who goes out, right? Who goes out into the economy. It's going to be kind of like a field of dreams scenario, right? Will, if you build it, will they come? And it's going to take weeks for demand to even come back to half of what it was. So we got to wish them well. You got to start. Somebody has to be first. Could I have made this call? Probably not. But hey, we got to wish them well. So in the end, what we are clearly seeing is we are a service-based economy. We've had 22 million new unemployment claims in the last 4 weeks. We are likely to have a GDP fall of greater than 30%. When you have a service-based economy that is stay at home and shelter in place and social distancing, the economy dies. Oil is worthless. Who would have thought oil was worthless? Real estate transactions could fall 40%. Coca-Cola sees a 25% drop in demand. Folks, the economy is dying. We are weeks, if not months, away from social unrest if it keeps going this way. Somebody's got to take a shot. Somebody's got to take a shot. The federal government is doing I was going to say horrible, but that's probably too strong a word, is not doing enough to keep the citizens less concerned, right? The checks have not really showed up for everyone. Unemployment checks have not shown up. The system is dying because people can't get money to feed themselves and pay for shelter. We go another month like this and really bad stuff happens. So in the end, we should all sit back. We should all wish Georgia well. We should all wish the 8 states that go on the 1st of May well, which is a Friday by my calendar. 20% of the country, at least by population, could have some business starting back up by May 1st. And we should all wish them well, regardless of political affiliation. Let's not wish for bad things. Let's wish for some good news today. All right, so that's what I got. I think I have 2 interviews today that we'll do. One's at 9 my time and another one at 10:30. So we'll see how those go. At the end of the day, take care of yourself. Have fun. Go Georgia.